Hey everybody, I'm John Beilfuss, Executive Chef of Lula's Louisiana Cookhouse here in gorgeous Owasso, Michigan on a dreary December day. Hey, good news! I have a great recipe for you today, Shrimp Creole. When I was growing up, my mom was a wonderful Southern cook, but we didn't have a lot of New Orleans style food, but the one that we did have, and we had it often, was Shrimp Creole. So it's something that I've loved my entire life, and over the last 40 years or so, have worked on my recipe for it. And I'm going to take you in the kitchen right now and show you how I do it. It is fabulous. I sure hope you enjoy it. Here's everything you're going to need to make this fabulous Shrimp Creole. 4 pounds of peeled and deveined shrimp. If they have tail on, as these did, keep the tails. If they come shell on and you have to peel and devein them, keep the shells. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. We have my Trinity. My combination for when I make a Trinity is always 2 parts white onion to 1 part celery and 1 part bell pepper. In this case, it's 2 cups of white onion, 1 cup each of celery and bell pepper. I have a 28-ounce can of diced or chopped tomatoes. You can use whole tomatoes and just give them a rough chop. I have a couple cups of shrimp stock. Now, the recipe only calls for 1 cup, but it's great to have a little extra in case you need to thin this out for some reason. To make that shrimp stock, I just took the tails off those shrimp, added a couple cups of water and brought it to a boil, simmered it for a couple minutes and strained it. I have a 1/4 cup of flour. I have 1/4 cup of bacon fat. Now you could use vegetable oil, but if you have bacon fat, certainly use that. I've got my BW Lula's Creole seasoning, a tablespoon of lemon juice, a tablespoon of minced garlic, a 1/2 cup of minced green onion, a 1/2 cup of minced parsley, some hot sauce. This is my hot sauce. You could use Tabasco if you've got it. My hot sauce, Louisiana Flame, will be available for sale in about a month. Some tomato paste, 8 ounces of tomato sauce. That's all you're going to need. Okay, here we go. First thing we're going to do is melt our bacon fat. Again, you could use vegetable oil, but if you've got bacon fat, use it. I always go to the store and buy these boxes of ends and pieces, and just render all the fat out of them. You can use the bacon for whatever you might want, but I always have bacon fat in the fridge. So I'm just going to melt that using the big old Dutch oven here. And as soon as that's all melted, I'm going to add our flour. Give that a good stir. Now I'm going to use the Paul Boudreau method of making roux. You've heard me say it before. When he was a kid, he spent days and hours stirring roux for his grandmother slowly over a stove, and he figured out if you turn it up high and stir like hell, it gets done a lot faster. You have to be careful. You just want to make sure you keep stirring it the whole time so it doesn't get bitter. If it burns, it'll get real bitter on you. As long as we're going through this, I might as well show you the different colors of roux. Now, this is what we would call a blonde roux. It's just getting started. Now, this is what I would call a very light brown roux. Now, here we have what I would call a peanut butter color roux. And we're going to take that just a little bit farther to a medium brown roux. This is almost where I want it. When you're thinking of roux, the lighter the roux, the more it thickens. The darker the roux, the richer it tastes, but the less it thickens. This is right about where I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to add our Trinity, our garlic, and our green onions. And give that a good stir. That roux will continue to darken. I'm going to give this a pinch of salt. Turn the burner down to low. And we're going to cook this for 25 minutes to a half hour to get this very soft. This has been about 20 minutes now, and this is looking nice and soft and just about like I like it. So I'm going to go ahead and add our tomato paste. And we're going to stir our tomato paste around here for just a couple of minutes. Get a little color on that tomato paste. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our 1 cup of stock, our 28 ounces of tomatoes. Stir that around. And this is a 14.5-ounce can of tomato sauce. I just need about 8 ounces, so just about half of it. Stir that all around. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of my Lula's Creole seasoning. We'll adjust that later, but we're going to start with about 2 tablespoons. The original recipe was from an old plantation in New Orleans, and they would put the shrimp in right now and then cook it for an hour. Talk about murdering shrimp. We're going to put the shrimp in at the very last minute, but we're going to turn this down to a simmer and just let it cook for about an hour. Oh my God, Imaginary Sarah, I am so glad you are here. So here's the reason I brought you in, because I have a problem and I needed to talk to my favorite imaginary bartender about it. So Morgan and I never exchanged Christmas presents because 26 years ago, I bought her a very beautiful cashmere coat and she hated it. So we've never exchanged gifts since. And all of a sudden, like last week, she said, oh, I'm buying some, Christmas presents this year. And I'm like, no, what the hell am I going to do? She's very, very picky. I have no idea. So jewelry, well, her ring is gold, but she probably won't wear a gold necklace. So I have no idea what to do. So I'm going to get her, so I thought I'd get her a cello. Yeah. And then I thought, well, what the hell is she going to do with cello? She didn't play the cello. So, any ideas? So this is simmered for about an hour. That's looking about right. But we're going to put all the shrimp in. Bring that up to a simmer. Cook these shrimp till they're done, about 5 minutes. We'll see if we need to add a little liquid. And as these are cooking here, I am going to add about another half a cup of the shrimp stock. It all depends on the brand of tomatoes you buy. Some tomatoes will have a lot of thick sauce with them, some don't. But this looks like it needed about another half a cup of my shrimp stock. Boy, it's looking good though. That's been about 4 minutes and the shrimp are almost done. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my lemon juice, my half a cup of chopped parsley, about a teaspoon of hot sauce. Like I said, I've got my Lula's Louisiana Flame here. Tabasco or Louisiana hot sauce, any would be fine. Mine's better. Sorry. Not sorry. Looks so good. I'm going to go ahead and turn the burner off. I'm going to taste for seasoning. That's hard to beat. I am going to add just a tiny bit more of my Lula's Creole seasoning. And I am ready to serve. Well, there you go. A beautiful plate of shrimp Creole. Enjoy. Well, thanks again for watching another exciting episode of Scratch Cook with John. I'll be back with many more recipes from all around the world. One thing she asked for, storage containers. Oh, Merry Christmas. Here's another storage container to put more stuff in that we don't need anymore. Well, honestly, this morning, I finally thought of something that she won't hate. I don't think. I hope not. But anyways, as long as it gets here by Christmas.